Now, in this session, we're going to focus on the years. Now, there's so many different types of years, but we have categorized these years into very specific components. Now, you got to mix and match the components, okay? Sometimes the years are, one or two or maybe three types of components. That's how you do a reading here, okay? So let's deep dive into the years so you can be able to master any type of years the next time you meet somebody, okay? So let's go. The first one. Easy to see, big ears, right? So how do you see big ears? Well, very simple. First of all, it looks big, right? Big and protruding is two different things, all right? Big means from the eyebrows, and you see the nose? It's like slightly longer than the length of the nose, and maybe just slightly touching or above the eyebrows. That's called big, okay? So here's another way to see big, as you can see. If you look from the front, you're able to see big. They're not protruding, they're big. Big means, it looks rather large from the perspective of the face. Now, for the big ears are people, first of all, the bigger the ears, the better the memory. And the bigger the ears, the more they are gentle and not rash, okay? They are more generous. People have bigger ears. And they like, of course, the big ears like flattery as well, right? The more you flatter them, they like it. They like compliments. And the bigger the ears, the more noblemen they have. How you know this is very simple. Big ears represents resource star in Bazi or the Chinese astrology. So when you have a lot of resource star in your chart, it's generally people who have been highly educated, big ears highly educated, and they have a lot of helpful people, a lot of noble people. So they also know how to take care of other people, and they take care of those in need as well. They're kind, nice people have big ears, okay? So next type of ears are opposite of that, smaller ears, okay? So small ears basically is like that, okay? You see from eyebrows to the nose, smaller, okay? Small set of ears. And here's another example. From the front, you can clearly see that. Now, the smaller the ears, the more worrying they are, the more cautious they are in life, okay? And they're more sensitive. The bigger the ears, they're more generous. They're not so worrying. The smaller the ears, they're always concerned. They're concerned, they're worried about stuff, and sometimes they have lack of affinity with elderly. So the ears represents early age. So if they're small, it can mean that they are not able to see their grandparents. They have no affinity with the grandparents they don't live with, or they don't see their grandparents very often, okay? So now, the smaller the ears, they also indicates their health has issues, particularly the kidneys, okay? So when the bigger the ears, they have more helpful people in life. The smaller the ears means they have less helpful people in their life. It's just opposite. So a lot of things, the bigger the ears, the family will provide a lot of education. They are good teachers teaching them. Smaller ears, a lot of things you have to learn yourself. You got to find your own education. You got to find your way to self-finance your own education. That's the difference between big and small. Now, big or small, the ears can be soft or hard, okay? Now, you're not going to go around touching other people's ears, all right? But you can see, sometimes the ears look, it's soft, right? So it looks like fleshy, the colors are very nice, and basically looks a bit lush. And you can look like this, right? For example, clearly you look at this part, you know it looks very soft. Now, the softer your ears, the more easygoing the personality is. And the soft ears are people who are afraid of trouble. So basically, if it's very troublesome, they will try, no, you handle it, I don't want to have any trouble. And they don't like to go against the current. The softer the ears are more amiable. So therefore, if something that's difficult and everyone don't like it, they probably will say no to it as well. The softer the ears also belong to people who are slightly weaker in health. It's similar to smaller ears. Smaller ears, kidney issue. Plus, if it's soft, then you have weak immune system all the way until you reach about middle age, about 50-something in your life, okay? So you have to be careful of the softer ears. Sometimes the immune system is a little bit weak, and you have to be a little bit concerned, especially with the kidneys, because ears represents the kidneys. Now, opposite of this is the hard ears. It looks like it's crunchy. The harder the ears, the stronger that person's health is, the more strong-willed somebody is. Softer the ears is more amiable. Harder the ears is stronger in terms of their willpower. They're not aggressive. They just, they have their opinions. And they don't generally easily listen to other people. It's easier to convince a soft ear person than a hard ear person. Okay, and usually they like to work in an orderly fashion. They follow the rules. Softer ears is like they go with the flow. Stronger ears, they will respect regulations and systems. Okay, and their working style is more stable than softer ears. Softer ears Softer years, they change according to the environment. Strong years, they keep their personality. They keep their style persistent according to what they think is right. Okay, so here's another set of, clearly it looks stronger. The years look strong, it doesn't look feeble. That's what it means. Okay, now a reverse set of years. Now reverse here is like this. Okay, see, in reverse is this part comes out. Okay, that's called reverse year. Let me show you another one. Can you see here? This part here comes out. That's called reverse year. Here's another one. See, this is clearly it's like the years folded outwards, just like this. It's called reverse year. A reverse year, basically they have a lot of hurdles, especially in early childhood. Some of them are adopted kids. Some of them might have lost a parent early in life. They are rather unstable emotionally. So in terms of relationship, they change their partners and they have major arguments because generally they are a little bit rebellious, but they don't know they're rebellious, but they're generally rebellious. They go through a lot of hardship, right? They go through hardship, they go through toughness because their character is unstable, okay? And they are less likely to get nobleman help. They're less likely to get help from elders, and they usually are more independent than the soft year and the hard year. They are the ones that normally, they have an opinion, they're quite strong, they're quite rebellious, they want to do things that are outstanding, but the problem is sometimes they don't have the talent, but yet they want to be outstanding. So the way to succeed is they have to go through hurdles in life, they have to get up 9 times after falling 8 times. That's how they can succeed. Okay. Next, we have the protruding years. Now, the years can protrude. Protrude means it basically looks like this. It just comes out, okay? Protruding years like to gain attention. The Chinese say, 出风头, okay? The people who loves the attention, loves to be flattered, they love the highlights, they love to be, adored by other people, right? But they're also part of the worrying nature. They worry a lot, okay? They worry, they're a little bit paranoid. They're very responsive because, generally the ears are big, they can hear things, so they're responsive, they know people talking about them. Sometimes these are the people that all you have to do is say something nice and they'll be okay with it, right? So protruding ears are people who don't like to lose in arguments. You got to give them face. As long as you give them face, they'll be okay, okay? So here's another set of protruding ears. And next is the face with the sticking ears. Sticking ears means you look from the front, it sticks in the head like this, okay? So you can see, you almost can't see the ears from the front. So it's called typic ears, it stick to the head. Now, these type of ears are belonging to people who are very intelligent, especially intelligent at a young age, and they are friendly, they're kind, they have high IQ level, right? They have very stable personalities, and they can learn things very quickly, okay? So, if you look at the set of the ears, the kids with ears that stick, usually, even at a young age, they do very well in school. They're very matured for a young age. In fact, their maturity is always higher than most average people. Okay, and their thinking are usually more thorough than those who are protruding. Protruding, they just want attention. But sticking to the head, there are people who are very thorough and meticulous. And they are those that normally are considered more wise than those that are more protruding. Okay, now, the ears can be high set or low set. The higher the set, how do you know? Look at the eyebrows, and anything higher is called high set ears. High set ears are generally higher IQ. They are smarter, they do well in school. They're likely to excel at a very young age. They are agile, they are smart, right? They are basically blessed with a lot of opportunities even way before they reach their teen years, okay? So usually they have a lot of assistance from noblemen since young. So high setting years are usually people who are more intelligent or work in intelligence or scholarlistic related type of work. Well, this is another set of high years, you can see. Okay, now opposite of this are the low setting years. Now, according to the ancient books, low setting years from the eyes below, not above the eyebrow. Can you see that the eyebrow hair is like this? It's about an inch below. Low setting years, they say success comes later in life. Okay, later means what? It means the eye luck finishes at 40, so it's after 40. So, they could be talented, but nobody notices the talent until they reach after 40, okay? So these are people that sometimes they lose control because of temptations. The higher the years, they are very control of their emotions. The lower the years, that means their emotions can get the better of them and they do things and make a mistake. That's why only after 40 they can see success, because by then they have matured enough to control their emotions and not let emotions ruin their life. Okay, now here's another example of low setting years, as you can see. Okay, so now some years are thin and there's no earlobes. Like this, for example, it looks thin and then there's no earlobe. Can you see that? Okay, and here's another example, and you can see this very thin looking ears and then there's no earlobes. Now, without earlobes, your life is about working. You probably spend very little time about enjoying your life. Earlobes, with thin and lack of earlobes, normally you can make money, but you just don't have time to enjoy your money. Okay, so you're influenced by, you know that hard work. If you don't work hard, you don't feel that you deserve the enjoyment. So a lot of people with ears like this, they do what? They run marathons, right? They take part in Ironman competition. They take stuff that puts them in a lot of pain and stress because they felt that this feels good. It feels good to, run up the mountains and climb the hills, stuff like that, okay? So now, there's nothing wrong with people like this. It's just that people with fleshier ears and with the earlobes will say, you know what? You can do the Ironman shit, right? I'm just going to sit there and have a drink. So it's two different views. So what they like is really the physical. For some of us, they say, wow, they like the torture, right? The pain, right? But the pain is good for them, right? They see the sort of influence. They do, the loneliness is expressed like that. You see, when you are climbing a mountain, you climb alone. You can climb with friends, but you're still taking care of alone, right? Or you're doing Ironman competition. You're the one swimming. When you're swimming, you're not talking to anyone. You're just swimming and you're talking to yourself, right? And then you tennis, right? Your opponent is on the other side of the court. You have to beat the other opponent. It's not a team sports thing, right? It's a singular, independent type of sport. Like you're running, right? You run, you're doing a marathon. You're not going to chat to the guy, hey, how are you? What you doing, right? You're not going to do that. You're going to just run, right? And 42 kilometers or 100 kilometers. Years like that basically represent people who are more, susceptible to that sort of lifestyle, okay? Now, the thick and full years are those very different. See, these thick and full, they're very fleshy. They are very principled. They know how to have quality of life, okay? They're not to say they're stubborn. They have opinions, but they are very, they have opinions, but they won't express it upon to you. They have a lot of good assistance from other people. They get other people to do things for them. And I don't think they would want to run a marathon for 100 kilometers and suffer the pain. They would like, all right, I'll do some jogging. I'll do some sports, but let's not get too stressed on. Let's not get too serious. We'll enjoy some fun stuff like golf, for example. Let's not get too tired and all that. So they emphasize on building relationships. They will prefer team sports than to have single person type of sports, and they have better and harmonious relationships. That's why thick and fleshy is one of the best type of years to have. And they have good health. That's the good thing about it. They have good health. They don't need to run 42 kilometers a marathon to have good health. They generally are blessed with good health. Okay, now this is a great set of years. Fleshy and with a earlobe. This is one of the best type of years to have, okay? Good quality of life, great health, happy personality. Okay, now, one of the things important about the ears is the color of the ears need to be fairer than the face, okay? Here you see, right? Clearly the face, the ears, fairer, okay? Of course, a fleshier ear will be good. This is not a fleshy ear, as you can see. This is a thin ear. A fleshy ear, like this is not a fleshy ear as well. It's thin, but it's lighter than the face. The ears need to be lighter or redder. That's it, okay? It cannot be darker than the face. Lighter colored face basically belong to people who have better health because ears represents what? Kidneys. Kidneys are clean. When the kidneys are clean, it detoxes your body, it keeps your body in good health, okay? So that's why we say they have good fortune in terms of health. The ears need to be lighter than the face, okay? So generally when they have ears like this, a person will be energetic. If the ears are dark and gloomy, they are going through not so good, helpful people luck. That means the ears represents helpful people, by the way. When you have dark and gloomy, you don't get help from other people. Not only that, your health has a problem. So remember, always, the ears can either be redder or fairer than the face. It cannot be darker or gloomier than the face. Okay. Now, next thing quite disgustingly is hair in the openings of the ear. Look at this. See, sometimes you have a nice looking ear, but then you have this stuff growing out. Right? Here's another example. You see your ears, and then you have hair growing out in the near the opening. Here's another example. The hair that you see on the opening of the years is only good after 45. After 45, you see that is an indication of long life. It means you have very good kidneys, your body detoxes on its own, and you're able to give good health. Suppose you have this appearing before 45 is an indication of kidney issues. And in the old days, it means you probably have a life-threatening problem before 45 years old. So you got to take note whether or not you have hair growing out in the opening of the years after or below 45. Take note. And it's usually kidney-related problem and or for ladies, uterus-related issues. Now, the pearl in the ears. What's the pearl in the ears? It means earlobe. See this? This is a great feature to have, okay? Here's another feature. See? Earlobes. Pearl in the ears. Now, the pearl in the ears is basically a person that is optimistic, happy, all right, grows up in a good environment. Childhood was fantastic. A lot of helpful people in life, and he or she knows how to enjoy life, you know, or good family ties, has wealth and retires early, or even if you don't retire, money is never an issue, okay? Even they don't have a lot of money, but they actually feel wealthy. You see, there are people with a lot of money but feel poor. There are a lot of people with lesser money but actually feel wealthy, and those are the ones with nice earlobes. They are contented with life. They are fulfilled in life. That's why good earlobes, they're not hard workers, mind you. They don't work really hard. They don't need to. They think, this is great. I'm enjoying my life. I have a great time, and let's have a good time together. That's the earlobes, okay? So that's why it's called pearl in the lobes. It's like a pearl. They're hanging like a pearl. Okay. Now, next we have ears called the pixie ears. Basically, it's pointy ears, right? If the ears point like this is called a pixie ears or a pointy ears or an animal ears. They belong to people whose self-awareness is very high, sometimes too sensitive. They're too sensitive to what other people are saying about them. They don't trust easily. And they work hard their whole life because sharp, pointy ears look like animal, right? So therefore, animals got to find their food, right? Got to hunt for food. So they always feel that they're working so hard. Why other people like those with the pearl in the ears, they don't really work so hard, but they can enjoy their life. And these are the guys or ladies that work so hard and try to make a living. But they don't realize that pointy ears are rather selfish by nature. They care about themselves more than other people, but they don't realize it. They take a long time until they start realizing it. Whereas those with a fleshy ear, especially those with earlobes, tend to concern about other people more. That's why they succeed. The difference is selfishness and non-selfishness. Selfish people don't know they're selfish. That's the problem, right? It's just like some people who are, they say, no, I got to take care of myself first, right? If I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of other people. That's true too, but that's selfishness, right? So this is the nature of such people. That's why they're working hard. They have low affinity with friends and family. Reverse that, a fleshy ear, and the one with earlobes are those that, hey, come for food. Hey, come to my house. Let's talk. And others will say, the pointy will say, hey, don't you know that they're taking advantage of you? The one with the pearl in the ear say, it doesn't matter. It's just, another set of utensils. We just eat together. We have fun. Doesn't matter. I have a lot for them to take. And they actually genuinely feel like that. That's why they're good. So remember, pointy ears, they're very sensitive. Okay. And here's the thing. The pointy ears, they probably have not so a good affinity with siblings and or parents. So maybe they are the single child. Maybe they're two siblings, but they don't talk to each other, or they live apart. Okay, somehow their childhood is quite interesting. Now here's another example of a pointy or pixie ear, but this is a high setting ear. Therefore, yes, it's sensitive, but also very high IQ. And the last set of ears, which is extremely rare, but if you have this, it's called the Buddha ears, because clearly it looks like the Buddha. It has the outward going pearl. It's not just like a pearl, it's large, and then you have a pearl. Okay, so it's not just the pearl, but pearl curved upwards and large and thick and fleshy. What does it mean? It means you're kind, generous, compassionate, and you have a long life. Okay, so this is the best type of nobleman type of ears. It's quite rare, but some people actually do have ears like this, and you have ears like this. You always have helpful people, you always have abundance, a lot of good food, and your health is always great. So this is the set of ears. Take a look at this. This is so cool to have Buddha ears, okay? So if you have a Buddha ears, your life is great. You have good fortune as you grow older, and basically you have peace of mind, okay? This is again very much like the Buddha ears. So there you go. We have in this module alone, this is a long module, don't you say so? We have covered eyes, eyebrows, and ears, and we have deep dive into all the features. Remember, you need to see the features together. They stack on top of one another. They don't just have one thing, right? They stack on top of one another. What you need to do is have a journal of all your friends and their ears and their eyes and their eyebrows, right? And you slowly analyze. There are always several features together, and you compile the features together, read the notes that come with the module, understand more and practice, okay? We have covered all there is, all right? It has to be classified under one of these categories. And as you get familiar with it, as you practice this, you become better. Face reading is a lot to do with practice. It's very little to do with reading the books. It's more to going out and see the people. I've shown you some pictures already. You've seen that. As long as you can match it similarly to those that I've shown you, you should be able to read the faces. But practice makes perfect. So go out and practice. And when you're ready, then I'll see you in the next module.